Tonight, we learn more about the two spies that were arrested by the FBI Monday for running an illegal Chinese police station in New York City. The indictment reveals that Falun Gong practitioners, long persecuted in China by the Chinese regime, were one of the spies' primary targets. The DOJ yesterday also charged 40 Chinese police officers for targeting Chinese dissidents. Earlier, I spoke with Levi Browdy, Executive Director of the Falun Dafa Information Center, who for years has been documenting the CCP's targeting and harassment of Falun Gong practitioners on U.S. soil. Levi Browdy, welcome to our show. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, for many Americans, it's shocking to think that these kinds of things could be happening right beneath our noses. But for you, you're no stranger to these kinds of tactics from the Chinese Communist Party. And do you have any specific examples of the Chinese Communist Party targeting Falun Gong practitioners on U.S. soil?
So many. I'll highlight just a couple. We have a Falun Gong practitioner who at the time was helping pioneer software so that people inside China could reach the free internet. He was in his home in suburban Atlanta. A couple of Asian men knocked on his door pretending to be delivery men for water, broke in, beat him up, wrapped him in a blanket, and took nothing from his home but computers. So that's one example. Another example here in New York City, actually. Some years ago, there was a huge mob that was organized to assault, verbally abuse, and sort of harass Falun Gong practitioners right there on the streets of New York City for many days. Later on, undercover investigators caught the New York consul general at the time, working in the consulate, saying that he actually went to Chinatown and encouraged these groups to go after Falun Gong, and he's the one who started it all. So those are two examples. Now we've had, across the country, we've had all kinds of things like diplomatic pressure, economic pressure. We've had countless mayors and governors and legislators get letters from Chinese consulates saying, don't support Falun Gong. If you do, you're going to lose this economic benefit, this political benefit. So this has been going on for more than 2 decades.
Wow, that's really concerning. So why is it important, do you think, to every American that the Chinese Communist Party does not succeed in these kinds of covert operations?
Well, the two main things that come to mind is first, physical safety. I mean, I think what people don't realize is CCP agents, people that often they're very thuggish, they result in violence, in attacks all around the country, and not just to the Chinese diaspora that go after Americans. And so physical safety from CCP nefarious acts here in the United States is very, very important. The second thing I would say is almost like the integrity of our public discourse. I mean, as we saw from this indictment, much of what the CCP demanded these agents do is try and get bad articles put in our newspapers, try and drum up rumors and hatred online. So they are tearing apart the way we interact with each other here in this country. And so the integrity of our discourse, our ability to perceive each other accurately and not have a foreign communist government trying to pit us against each other is critical for our country. And I think that's the other thing that makes it very important.